galore over in the Bundesliga as Bayern extend the lead at the top of the table as the rest of the chasing pack couldn't get out of the second gear. We'll talk about that and much more next. That's right, folks. Back once again with another prediction show today. We'll take a look at match number 17 on the Bundesliga, and we'll get to that. Oh, yes, we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, and hit the old subscribe button to get you bang up today with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Bundesliga related. Whoa! Football, what are we going to know here? Underwall Ruski. In fact, I'm actually a little bit late. I didn't know there was a double match week this week. I was taking my time. I wasn't even going to do this video today. I was just checking out the stuff, and guess what? Panic stations, of course, double match week, a chance for the chasing pack to maybe put some pressure on Bayern. But anyway, before we get into that, I want a big shout out to the patrons supporting the channel behind the scenes. I do appreciate it, guys. You put a smile on my face and you keep the channel moving in the right direction, so I do appreciate that. And anyone else is out there, we're trying to get back up to 25. We lost somebody, I don't know, through traveling time. I don't even know. But if you are interested, check out that link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas. Let's get cracking. So let's take a look at how we all got on last round. Of course, here we bloody go. Union Berlin just can't stop winning. 1-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen. Not a surprise win there. Sarat Kuchert on the score sheet for Union Berlin, a lastminute.com winner to give them the 3 points. Actually, with a 2-1 win more for by Leverkusen, but unfortunately, shit, no good. Meanwhile, Dortmund against Mainz, of course, a bit of a derby. This bad boy ended up all square, 1-1 in the end. I thought it was going to be a 2-0 win, but Levin Utsali, Thomas Meunier on the score sheet for Borussia Dortmund, giving them a share of the points. So point split right down the middle. Draw number 1 right there. Hoffenheim up against Arminia Bielefeld, end up all square, 0-0. Nothing to report here. I actually remember the 1-0 win myself. Meanwhile, Wolfsburg against Leipzig, also a draw, 2-2 in the end. That's 3 on the spin right there. Nori Mukeli and Willi Orban on the score sheet for Leipzig. Wood Workhorse and Renato Stufan on the score sheet for Wolfsburg, giving them a share of the spoils. Meanwhile, Köln against Berlin. That's Hertha Berlin, 0-0 in the end. Nothing to report here, I don't think. 0-0, nothing to get excited about in the end. Bremen, though, they did beat Augsburg with a 2-0 win. Goodness gracious me, finally gotten some moving. Theodore Gebre Selassie on the score sheet with Felix Ogu on the score sheet as well for Bremen, giving them the 3 points. My boys could only muster a 2-2 draw against Stuttgart. That's right. Lars Stindl and Dennis Sakira on the score sheet with Nicolas Gonzalez. Silias Waganutu Kaka on the score sheet for Stuttgart, giving themselves a share of the spoils. Bayern, though, continue to do what they do with a 2-1 win over Freiburg. Goals from Robert Lewandowski, Thomas Muller as well. Niels Peterson on the score sheet for Freiburg. And wrapping up, Frankfurt did beat Schalke, of course. Schalke winning last week. But of course, back to normality here with a 3-1 win for Frankie. Goals in the day for Andre Silva, Luka Jovic with a brace on his return. Goodness gracious me, and Matthew Hoppe, who did, of course, get that hat-trick for Schalke, scoring for the visitors this time around. Of course, as you see, pretty shitty with a lot of draws knocking around. Was never meant to be. Frankfurt, though, could have made a bit of a coup by bringing Jovic back. Of course, scoring with a double bubble. Let's take a look at, of course, the table as it stands. Bayern lead the charge, of course, 4 points clear over Leipzig, who are 3 points clear over Leverkusen, who are 11 on points with Dortmund, of course. Union Berlin up to 5th at the moment, and win for them this week. In fact, double match week, they could go as high as 2nd in the table. Of course, Wolfsburg in 6th, Frankfurt 7th, and Mönchengladbach down into 8th. The foot of the table, Schalke, Mainz going down as it stands. Köln, though, not too far away from the discussion again. Back-to-back wins for Mainz or Schalke, and they could themselves start to breathe a little easier, of course, if they can get the points on the board. Let's get into it. Of course, take a look at the next round of matches. Here's the criteria, though. 0-2 shit-faced gang, just like me. 3-6 straight-faced club, and 7+. You're in the top bins. Of course, here's you guys first. Johnny Talks Bundesliga. He did shit just like me. Nathan Eva also did absolutely shocking, but it's okay. Elijah Ojo, not too bad. Gaming Charlie did poop. Who else did poop? Who's that fella there? XDDD, yeah, it's shocking. Tom Stainer also had a nightmare. Russell Frost also had a one to forget. Imogen did also had a nightmare. Even Stringer did bits. Davis FC, not too shabby. Omar Esquivel, not too shabby there. Of course, Matt Gunner, in fact, he did shite. Matt Gunner also did poop. Imagine Randy, you did poop as well. Costas K, he's okay. Yannick Buster did bits. Shepherd also had a nightmare. Josh as well travelled, did bits. Sammy Idu did shocking. Also did very, very well. Shane O'Donovan did poop, but it's okay. Lucas Kajanovich did bits. Alex Weller also did good. Moritz Pratelli, not too shabby, and okay. He did okay. Daria Lavada Rossa also did good. Vincent Hong did bits. And Hans Wurst also did very, very well indeed. Let's take a look at the leaderboard for this week. Of course, Ilmach Wotsa, Game and Charlie, and Nathan Eva. Just close your eyes for like a second or two. You can look now. What Spratelli, Vincent and Hans Worst take a bloody bow with that draw. Spectacular. He managed to pick out 5 out of 9, which ain't too shabby. Of course, chasing pack, of course, it included Olagiojo and the boys got themselves into joint second in that bunch of fixtures. Of course, take a little overall leaderboard. Who is your overall king? Whoever it is, please take a bow. And that man is Alex Weller. Look at that. Kicking ass and taking names with a 50% success rate. Costas K, though. He's okay. He's up to second. Yannick Buster also in the top 5 alongside Lukas Kjellevich and Moritz Fratelli. Josh is well traveled, not too far away either, as is Shane O'Donnell. It's all getting nice and tight at that top of the table. Of course, just 1 percentage point separate Alex Weller and Costas K. We can all change in this week. Double match week. Get into it. Get involved. Let's kick it all off with, of course, Borussia Mönchengladbach taking on Werder Bremen. Of course, my boys, Gladbach, of course, played each other in the past 109 times, 43 wins for Gladbach, 40 wins for Bremen, and 25 draws, of course. But the last 6, see 3 for Gladbach, nothing for Werder Bremen, and 3 draws, of course. The last time out in Mönchengladbach was a 3-1 win. That was back in November 2019. Patrick Hurneman on score sheet for Gladbach, Rami Basani on score sheet as well. He also got himself sent off before Leonardo Bittencourt made it a little bit of a nervy encounter for Mönchengladbach, but they lost in the end. 3-1 win for Gladbach. Gladbach have actually scored these 2 goals in 8 of the last 10 matches at home against Werder Bremen, and they've also undefeated in the last 10 matches against Werder Bremen in all comps. They come into this Mönchengladbach without just 1 defeat the past 6. That 1 defeat was against Hoffenheim all the way back at the end of 2020. On the flip side, just 1 defeat the past 5 for Werder Bremen. That 1 defeat was against Union Berlin. Of course, everybody's losing to Union Berlin at the moment. That was back at the start of the year. Look at the situation out in the bookies. Shall we? Give me a minute. I've got to switch gears here. Head over to Germany. Of course, the bookies on this one at 7-4 on for Gladbach, at 10-3 is draw, and 92 is your away win. Bremen coming to this in 12th and win for them. They could actually go as high as 11th. Gladbach are in 8th and win for them. They could actually go as high as 5th in the table. That's above Union Berlin in the process. I've gone with my head and my heart. That's Mönchengladbach with a 2-0 win in the end. Next up, we have a bit of a fruity one. It's Leverkusen up against Dortmund. They played each other in the past 98 times, 31 wins for Leverkusen, 42 wins for Dortmund, and 25 draws, of course. But the last 6, he's 4 for Dortmund, 1 for Leverkusen, and 1 draw. Of course, last time out in Leverkusen was a 7-goal thriller going in favour of Leverkusen. That was back in February 2020. Kevin Volland with a couple of goals, Liam Bailey as well, Lars Bender getting the goals for Leverkusen, with Matt Hummels, Emre Can, and Rafael Guerrero on score sheet for Dortmund as they lost last time in Leverkusen. Of course, heading into this, Dortmund have actually scored at least 3 goals in the last 5 matches against Leverkusen in all comps. They come into this just 1 defeat in the past 6 games for them. Then 1 defeat was, of course, against Union Berlin. On the flip side, just 1 win in the past 5 games for Leverkusen. That 1 defeat, 1 win was against Eintracht Frankfurt, of course. And again, they come into this losing to Union Berlin quite recently. Of course, Union Berlin stepping up the plate against all the big boys. Bookies also on this one, 9-4 for Leverkusen. The 15-5 is your draw. 21-20 is your Dortmund on this one. Dortmund coming to this in 4th and win for them. They could actually go as high as 2nd in the table. Of course, Leverkusen coming to this in 3rd and win for them. They could actually also go as 2nd in the table. I've gone with on this one a 3-2 win back in favour for Leverkusen to get themselves back into winning ways. Kicking on further, we have Berlin. Not that one, but it's Hertha Berlin taking on, of course, Hoffenheim. Of course, played each other in the past 20 times. 6 wins for Hertha, 9 wins for Hoffenheim, and 5 draws, of course. But the last 6 is 1 win for Hertha Berlin, 2 for Hoffenheim, and 3 draws. Last time out in Berlin was a 5-goal thriller going in favour of Hoffenheim. Jürgen Lukeda, Andrei Kadamic, and Benjamin Hubner on the score sheet for Hoffenheim. Dodi Lukabakiano and Solomon Karlu on the score sheet for Hertha Berlin. Vladimir Diadida get himself sent off. Heading into this, of course, Hoffenheim just 1 win the past 6 games. That 1 win was against Mönchengladbach, of course, back in the 19th of December. Just 1 win the past 6 games for Hertha. That 1 win was against Schalke, of course, 3-0 at the start of the year as well. Look at the situation out on the bookies on this one. We have Hertha Berlin 30-10 for the W. 5-2 is your draw. 2-1 is your Hoffenheim on this one. Hoffenheim coming into this in 14th spot, but a win for them. They could actually go as high as 11th. Hertha actually in 1 spot better off, and a win for them in 13th. They could go as high as Augsburg, which is 11th spot in the end. I've gone with a 0-0 draw. I can't really separate these two sides. Can you make sure you get your picks in nice and early for these? And of course, the rest of the games around Europe. Next up, we have Mainz up against Hoffenheim. They played each other in the past 38 times. Just 8 wins for Mainz, 15 wins for Wolfsburg, and 15 draws, of course. But the last 6 is 3 for Wolfsburg, nothing for Mainz, and 3 draws. Last time out in Mainz was, in fact, a 1-0 win for Wolfsburg. Marcel Tesserand on the score sheet, giving them the 3 points in the end. They've actually won the 3 on the spin. Wolfsburg over Mainz. Of course, you're going to go all the way back to 2018 for Mainz's last time. They've yet to taste a defeat to Wolfsburg. Heading into this, in fact, let's have a look at when they last won. The last time they beat Wolfsburg at home was all the way back in 2015. Heading into this, Wolfsburg actually kept clean sheet in the last 4 matches against Mainz in all comps. Mainz have actually failed to win the last 3 at home. They're coming into this without a win in 6, if not more, just 1 win all season. On the flip side, just 1 defeat in the past 5 games for Wolfsburg. That was against Dortmund, of course, and the Bundesliga. They were unbeaten for the longest time. They've now got 2 defeats in the past 6 games. Just 2 wins in the past 6 as well. Anyway, heading into this, the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We have 3-1 for Mainz, 14-5 is for the draw, 6-5 on for Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg coming into this in 6th, and with them they could actually go as high as 3rd in the table. Mainz coming into this in 17th spot, and with them they could close in on 16th spot, but still got a bit of work to do to get out of the relegation zones. I've gone with a 2-0 win for Wolfsburg though, as Mainz will get another defeat in that defeat column. Next up, a must-win game here for Schalke up against Köln. They played each other in the past 122 times, 41 wins for Schalke, 53 wins for Köln, and 28 draws, of course. But the last 6 sees 2 wins for Schalke, 1 for Köln, and 3 draws. Last time out in Schalke was a 1-1 draw. That was back in October 2019. Suat Sindan on the score sheet, when Jonas Hector on the score sheet for Köln at a 1-1 draw. Of course, heading into this, Schalke have actually failed to win 31 of the last 32 matches in the Bundesliga, whereas Köln have actually failed to score in the last 5, also failing to win 24 of the last 26. Schalke have actually conceded at least 2 goals in 8 of the last 10 matches. They're coming to this winning 2 of the past 4 games, of course beating Ulm in the German Cup, and of course beating Hoffenheim as well. Yes, on the flip side, just 1 win in the past 6 for Köln. That was against Osnabrück, aka Osnabrück, in the German Cup. Look at the situation out in the bookies on this one. Then Schalke actually 6-4 for the double. 23-10 is your draw. 9-5 is your Köln. Köln come into this in, of course, 16th spot on the moment, and win for them they could actually go as high as 14th. Win for Schalke in 18th. They could close in on, of course, Köln, who are in 16th. And if they get back-to-back wins this week, guess what? They could be right back into the thick of things to potentially get themselves a bit of survival. I've gone with a win for Schalke in the end. Of course, they've been grinding out the performances, of course, up against Jovic and co. This weekend was a bit too much, but I think they might get back to winning ways once again. Next up, I have Leipzig up against Union Berlin. This is, of course, Leipzig in 2nd, Union Berlin into 5th. They played each other in the past. How many times? Just 6 times. 4 wins for Leipzig, 1 win for Union Berlin, and 1 draw. Of course, the last time I played each other in Berlin was a 4-0 win for Leipzig. It's actually been 3 wins on the spin for Leipzig. Just conceded 1 goal in those 3 games. Of course, Berlin are actually undefeated in, it's actually Leipzig undefeated in 28 of the last 31 matches, scoring at least 3 goals in the last 3 at home against Union Berlin. Of course, Union Berlin looking very, very good. Just 1 defeat the past 6 games. 1 defeat was against Paderborn in the German Cup. So they're unbeaten in the league in at least 5 games. Of course, Leipzig coming into this just 1 defeat the past 6 games as well, losing to Dortmund a couple of games back. In fact, just 1 win this year for Leipzig. Of course, heading into this one, the bookies odds on this one, Leipzig will be favourites 2-1 on for the victory. 10-3 is draw. 11-2 is your Union Berlin. Union Berlin, of course, in 5th. With them, they could actually go as high as 3rd in the table. Leipzig are in 2nd, and with them, they could close in on Bayern, who are top of the pops. I've gone with a 3-1 win for Leipzig to get back to winning ways and stop this charade that Union Berlin are actually going to get into Europe. Let's put a stop to it, even though I would like to see it, but I don't. Yes, it's going to stop one of these days. Freiburg up against Frankie, of course, the battle of the Fs. Played each other 37 times in the past. 14 wins for Freiburg, 15 wins for Frankie, and 8 draws, of course. But the last 6 sees 1 win for Freiburg, 2 for Frankie, and 3 draws, of course, including a draw last time around in Frankfurt. It was a 6-goal thriller, 3-3 in the end. Last time I played each other, though, in Freiburg was a 1-0 win for Freiburg back in November 2019. Niles Peterson on score sheet. Gelson Fernandez, David Abraham got himself sent off for Frankie, as did Vincenzo Grifo get himself sent off for Freiburg in a very, very thrilling match in the end, going over 100 minutes in that match. Frankfurt have actually won the last 4 matches in the Bundesliga. Frankfurt have also scored at least 2 goals in the last 5. They come into this just 1 defeat the past 6. That 1 defeat was against Leverkusen in the German Cup. 4 wins on the spin in the league, though. Just 2 defeats the past 6 games for Freiburg. Actually, just 1 defeat the past 5 for them in the league as well. 2 difficult sides at the moment. Of course, bookies odds on this one. We have Freiburg 7-4 for the double. 6-4 is your Frankie. 5-2 is your draw. Frankfurt coming into this in 7th, and with them they could actually go as high as 3rd in the table. Freiburg coming into this in 9th, and with them they could actually go as high as 6th in the league. I've gone with a 2-0 win for Frankie and Jovic with a goal as well. Kicking on further though, Augsburg up against Bayern. Of course, played each other in the past 51 times. 10 wins for Augsburg, 35 wins for Bayern, and 6 draws. Of course, but the last 6 sees 4 for Bayern, nothing for Augsburg, and 2 draws. Last time out in Augsburg, there was in fact a 2-2 draw back in October 2019. Marco Richter on the score sheet, and for Big Finger Boston as well. Robert Lewandowski and Sergei Gnabry on the score sheet for Bayern back in October. Bayern are undefeated in 34 of the last 36 matches in the Bundesliga, and winning 9 of the last 11 matches against Augsburg in all comps. They come into this though, Bayern just 1 win in the past 3 games. That one win was against Freiburg, of course. Just 1 win this year. On the flip side, just 1 win in the past 5 games for Augsburg, losing 4 out of 5. Very, very shaky sort of stuff. Look at the bookies odds on this one then. 12-1 for Augsburg, 5-1 on is your Bayern, 6-1 is your draw. Of course, a win in fact, anything goes, and Bayern will be. Oh yeah. However, on the win for Augsburg in 11th, they could go as high as 10th in the table, but they're not going to get it. Bayern will get back to winning ways with a 3-1 win in the end. And wrapping up, Arminia Bielefeld up against Stuttgart. Played each other 40 times in the past. 9 wins for Bielefeld, 20 wins for Stuttgart, and 11 draws, of course. But the last 6 sees 4 for Stuttgart, 2 draws, and nothing for Bielefeld. Of course, last time out in Bielefeld was a 1-0 win for Stuttgart. That was back in the Zweite Bundesliga in September 2019. Ahmed El Galgoudi on the score sheet for Stuttgart, giving them the 3 points. Fabian Klos got himself sent off for Bielefeld. Bielefeld are actually, what are they? They've come into this just 1 defeat the past 4 games. That 1 defeat was against Borussia Mönchengladbach. On the flip side, 1 defeat the past 4 games as well for Stuttgart. That 1 defeat was against Leipzig, of course. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on the bookies odds on this one? What do we have on the bookies odds? We have 10-3 for Bielefeld, 40-5 is draw, 4-3 on for Stuttgart. Stuttgart coming to this in 10th for the win for them. They could actually go as high as 8th. Bielefeld are in 15th for the win for them. They could actually go as high as 13th in the table. I've gone with a surprise here. I've gone with a surprise going in favour of Bielefeld with a 2-1 win in the end to give themselves a bit of belief and maybe just climb away from those relegation spots so they can know they'll be back in the division next year. And that's, my friends, what I think will happen in this week. Mini match week, double match week, whatever you want to call it. And if I'm right, Bayern will have a 4-point clear at the top of the table over Leipzig, which is pretty much as they have it right now. Leverkusen back into 3rd with a bit of a gap on Borussia Dortmund. Of course, Wolfsburg in the 5th, Frankfurt up to 6th. Down the foot table, Mainz and Schalke play catch up a little bit. Well, at least Schalke do anyway, to move 2 points within Köln, of course, and Bielefeld doing bits as well. That's what I think will happen in match number 17. Be sure to get your picks in nice and early. And again, we'll be back for match number 18 later on in the week. And maybe we'll have that one live. I was going to do this one live, but of course, I didn't even know what was happening. But until then, be sure to give the video some love and smash that thumbs up. Smash subscribe, of course. We'll be back again, of course, later in the week. Also, check out the links down below. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. And of course, if you want to become the latest member of the Patreon gang, that's the best place to do it. Check that out. Until then, though, I'll see you all very, very soon. Ciao for now.